Doug Hardy from CT News Junkie, talking a little bit about what's always on our mind, money.
Can everybody hear me? Okay.
Oh no, bootstrap was fun.
My name's Jay. I'm with Richland Source. We are a independently owned media company in Mansfield, Ohio. I'll answer the most common question about Mansfield, Ohio. Where is it? It is directly between Cleveland and Columbus, so about 60 miles south of Cleveland, about 60 miles north of Columbus, right off I-71. You should come and visit sometime. I'd be happy to have you. My background, real briefly, is I am not a journalist. I did not go to J school. I have no degree in journalism. What I do have, though, is a long background in it. I grew up, my dad was in the business for 50 years. He retired, God bless him, right before the internet blew everything up. He had a long career in newspapers, but all of it was on the business side. So I worked in newspapers. I worked for USA Today on the production side. I ran a print site for USA Today. I worked in plate rooms and stripped 4-color and did all that stuff, but I never did anything that had to do with journalism. So when I had the opportunity to get back into journalism after a long hiatus, I jumped at it, but I always I tend to approach our business with ideas about how we can make the business successful so we can support the journalism. Because for me, that was just, and I'm not saying that's the right way to do it, I'm just saying that's the only way I know how to do it. And so we've been around for a couple of years, and I'm going to, Dylan and Matt asked me to talk a little bit about some stuff that we've done. What's that? Oh, shoot. Maybe I should. There, stay there. They asked me to talk a little bit about some different things that we've done or that we're going to do to drive revenue or drive the possibility of revenue. And so when the going gets weird, the weird term pro, Hunter S. Thompson, and I'm a pro. So full disclosure, first of all, we like ads. It's really popular right now to spend 80% of your time talking about how you want to find revenue other than ad streams. Full disclosure, we like ads, and we have no intention of abandoning advertisers or advertising or any of that stuff. Advertising is good. I mean, we all need to, let's all say it together. Ads are good.
Ads are good.
Okay, good. Now we're on track. The fact, 90% of our revenue is advertising. 90% of that advertising is local. We do not subscribe to any ad networks. We are just beginning to get noticed by agencies. We project our ad revenue will double over 2014. We project that it will probably double again in 2016. We work really hard at advertising on the business side of this business because we want to hire more journalists. That's the goal. I mean, we want to be the most badass covers of our region that we can. We can only do that if we can hire a ton of journalists. That's the way we see it working. However, and sales are growing and they're healthy, but in the ad environment, though, one of the things that are challenging, at least for us, is that larger forces help drive that. The general economy drives advertising. People are optimistic, as they kind of are now. They're spending money, their trend lines are going up, they're going to advertise more. Eventually that will change and they will advertise less. So what we're trying to do is say, hey, look, our sales are going up. Now's the time before the shitstorm happens and we all freak out. Let's find those alternative revenue streams now while we actually have revenue coming in instead of do the traditional newspaper thing, which is to just go like this and then wait until everything blows up and then try to figure it out. So we're trying to figure it out right now. So our first thing is try new stuff. It's almost a watchword. We try stuff all the time, and if it breaks, then we kill it and we move on to the next thing. We try to be completely fearless that way. And we think about revenue, but we also think about it on the long tail. We are very mindful to think that we may try something and it has no revenue attached to it, but what we're trying to figure out is there the possibility that revenue could be attached to it? Because sometimes you don't know, and anybody that's ever sold anything knows that if you don't have a demonstrable, you don't have something that you can show them that it will work, Sometimes you have to invest to figure out that it will work so that you can sell it to somebody again later, and I'll show you a couple examples of that. So first of all, focusing on one of the things that we as organizations, we think everybody in this organization can do all of these things really well. So in addition to display, we do paid management of certain clients' social media accounts. We have, let's say for example, I have a roofer that is a client of ours, and the last thing in the world he wants to do is log into Facebook. He is not a Facebook guy, but he realizes the reality of it, so we have somebody on our business side that curates 8 posts a month for him, and we charge him several $100 a month to do that. We provide audits and consultations for clients on their social media presence to help them understand, are they doing it well or are they doing it poorly? Everyone in this room is an expert in this. And if you're not like a degreed expert, just call yourself an expert, because you are experts. You do it every single day. You spend whole times, you are grassroots experts. We do paid management of Facebook campaigns, so we provide agency-level services to small businesses where we will become an editor or an admin of their Facebook page. We will create ads for them, and we will charge them for, we charge right now $40 a CPM, and it's going up, and they're paying it gladly and happily. And we manage those individual Facebook ad campaigns for them on social, and we typically tie that to display. Because of course there's a cost of sale for us to do it through Facebook, so we tie it to display and we link it all together. But we are so knitted into their business now. They've given us we are an admin on their Facebook page. Think about that for a second. I mean, they trust us with their social media presence, sometimes tens of thousands of followers, and they're allowing us to do that because they trust us, so we are really deeply knitted into their business. Paid PR writing. I know everybody in here is freaking out right now at the thought that you would write PR. Here's how we got around that, because we really respect our journalists and we tried to think of a way to do this. But what we did was we did an intercompany transfer in QuickBooks where we assign a portion of one of our reporters' salaries to the business side. So the business side bears the weight of a portion of that person's salary, so that when we ask that person to write a press release or edit a press release for a client, that's occurring on the portion of that person's salary that's paid for by the business side of the business. It helped us get over the ethical quandary of, well, wait a minute, I'm a reporter, I'm a journalist. Yes, 36 hours a week you are a journalist. 4 hours a week you might be a PR person. And that helped them get over it. It fixed the problem. Everybody understood what they were doing. It was duty-based, it was job function-based, and we were able to get over it. It might not work for everybody in here, it worked for us. Any questions so far? Because it's about to get really weird.
So for these press releases that some of your reporters are writing, I guess a client, as you write this press release, do they then expect you to publish that in a press release or cover that press release?
Sometimes, but what we try to do is be super, super, super clear with them about what that means. So like, what's that relationship? How does that work? And in our case, because we are 90% local and we see these people every day, our advertisers are our clients and our friends, we can have that candid and honest conversation with them. So yeah, sometimes they expect things that we are not comfortable doing, and we very politely tell them no. And we've never had an advertiser quit, we've never had an advertiser throw a temper tantrum, we've never had an advertiser throw something at us. They understand. If you deal with people ethically and honestly, we find that they understand and respect that. They may not agree, but it's okay. You don't have to agree about everything. That's just our experience. That's just what happened with us. Okay, so first of all, revenue partnerships. We believe strongly that partnerships can drive revenue. My colleague Scott Gatchall is here from a company called InMobley. InMobley has developed a technology. Scott and I know each other because our daughters are best friends. They go to school together. That's the only reason we have this partnership. We would never have run into each other otherwise. But that's it. I mean, it's totally accidental. But we were really lucky. InMobley developed a technology for video caching. We needed an app, and we couldn't afford it. So what they did for us was they built us our app, which we released this past month. I'll talk to you about how we did that. They did it. It was developed at no direct cost to us. However, InMobley is going to benefit because of the special sauce that's baked into that app. Does incredible things with video caching and predictive analytics. So we're going to pay InMobley back for that as a portion of a revenue share over time. It's about us. We got something out of it that we really needed in our market, which was an app. So we could compete directly with our larger competitors. And Mobley got an opportunity to work inside of the publishing space, which was strategically important to them. And we're both going to win on this because we look much bigger than we are. We have a great tool. They have a case study, and they can take it out and scale it. Okay, first weird thing, prom and grad videos. I have no idea what your market is. In Ohio, we are obligated as the news media, or we're told we're obligated, to go to every single prom and every single high school graduation. So we send photographers to proms and graduations, and we do candid shots. Ohio has this weird tradition called the Grand March. And what it is in proms is when the couples announcing Jay Allred and Bethany Stevens, and then they walk in with all like their tuxes and stuff, and it's like this huge deal, like it's a giant high school event. So all the media covers it. So we decided we would do it differently, and then they would, to quote Dylan, they would gin up page views by doing photo galleries of these. So they'd be like 40 pictures. They'd run a photo gallery, page view, page view, page view, page view, page view, page view, and it would work out really cool. But that was it. We decided in 2014 to try something really different. We have to do it anyway, so we created these movies in Animoto. I'll show you an example of them. We made no money on them at first, but they were highly shareable. We put them on our YouTube channel, and the kids and the parents, especially the moms at graduation and prom, absolutely loved them, and they went bananas over them. But we didn't make any money on it, but we figured out how to do it, and we figured out the production side of it. We had no revenue. In 2015, we sold over $3,000 worth of sponsorship for it. And so we completely covered our cost and turned it into a profit center. And in 2016, look out, because with Facebook's new policies on video, we saw those videos were seen over 100,000 times. It went bananas. And Facebook was fine with it. It worked out fine. We sold these little sponsorships. And so the price just went up, and we're going to get every dollar out of it that we can. Here's an example of what they look like. Just real briefly. Whoa, cloud. Okay, so you've seen all this stuff, right? And so what this is all it is it's Animoto is this amazing tool that takes still photographs and video clips, puts it all together with fully licensed music, and I built that whole video in approximately 10 minutes.
Oh my god.
Bam, 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 out. And I know I'm not going to win any Pulitzer Prizes with this stuff. But and if you have to do this stuff, this is a huge monetization. You see the slide at the beginning. Those are our title sponsors. They buy an intro. They buy a 3-second intro and outro slide, so they're on at the beginning and in the end. And they paid dearly for that, and they loved every second of it. School Specialty will be back next year at 3 times the price, and they'll be happy to have it.
I'd be careful about that because Facebook really is cracking down.
We're watching. We're paying a lot of attention.
Because we get an email right away. Not that we've ever done it, but
yep, we actually did. We got some pings back, but interestingly, the pings that we got back from Facebook when we loaded it was about music.
right.
They would pick up this music, and we would have to reply back and say, no, this is Animoto. It's all licensed through Triple Scoop, and then they were cool with it. And so far, but we are watching it, and that's why we sort of have an alternative to it as well.
What's their main Facebook story now?
You can't. The thing you're really conscious of on Facebook's platform, Facebook and Instagram, because Instagram is owned by Facebook, they don't want any sponsorship on Facebook. So to Jen's point earlier about sponsored content, being tagging people on Facebook and stuff like that, Facebook will flag you real fast on that, depending how big you are and how much they notice you. Like, we could never do that on Facebook. There's no way, not that ABC does a lot of native ads, but we would never be able to do that, because Facebook would come to us real fast and say, you can't do that, because presumably, eventually, they're going to say, we want a piece of it.
Exactly, and that's why we're looking at it very closely, because Facebook is already starting to roll out new video platforms that are advertisements, so we'll probably have to rotate that into we'll just price accordingly to fit whatever Facebook's community regulations are.
Because Facebook has said that they don't want to do pre-rolls.
Mhm.
And likely the talk now is, and this is not official or anything like that, read about it online, that likely what they'll start doing is mid-rolls in between videos when the video is embedded somewhere else. So like if you embed a video from YouTube, you can soon embed a Facebook video. And if it goes to another video, then you could sell advertising in the middle of it. But that's probably going to be Facebook's, because Zuckerberg is very much, we don't want regular display ads, we don't want pre-rolls on our site.
And so this goes back to kind of a core thing that we do. Be willing to pivot fast. Be willing to change. Be willing to accept the fact that the ecosystem is going to change around you while you're in it. It's okay. That's not a bad thing. Just adjust. And so just come up with something else weird or different or compelling for your. Oops, sorry, I didn't do that. Okay. All right. Next one. Let's move on. Sorry, these buttons. Okay. So the next thing we did was last year we did popcorn bags. This little white bag has our logo on it, and it instructs the person to go back to our website to enter a contest. So what we did was one of our ad reps came up with this idea, and we executed on it. We donate all the popcorn bags to every single high school concession stand in our coverage area. So we reach out to every single booster club, and we say, we want to give you as many popcorn bags as you need for your entire school year. We want to donate them to you. And if you've ever worked with a booster club, free is their favorite word. So follow closely by donate. So they all bought in. And so what we did is in 2014, we had these popcorn bags made. We couldn't get any advertisers to buy the other side of them. We couldn't sell any sponsorships because we had no demonstrable. We couldn't show them anything. So we absorbed $4,000 in costs to buy 40,000 popcorn bags, which we put into every single concession stand. We absorbed that as a marketing investment because remember, we were trying to grow. We still are. In 2015, we've sold 50,000 bags. We were going to make 50,000 bags. We've already made $2,000 on it. We still have, I think, 6 schools yet to sell. So we flipped it because we had dozens and dozens and dozens of pictures that we took of kids at high school games with these bags. We had selfie contests, send us a selfie, hashtag it popcorn selfie. We had all these different social media streams that were going on that were driving awareness. So when we went back out to advertisers this year, we showed them these pictures, and they said, "Oh my God, I want to be in that kid's hands." So we recently sold a big chunk of them to a driving academy, high school football, high school kids, driving academy. Where's your core audience? Boom, popcorn. All those little white things. That's a huge rivalry basketball game. Those are all kids at that basketball game with our popcorn bags, waving them, trying to get in the Richland source because our photographers were working with them to get these crazy pictures taken. So the PR is invaluable, and you're right inside the school. So if you want to reach how do we reach the millennial generation? We'll start with food. They have to eat, right? So we started there. Next thing we did, McDonald's. We just recently ran this promotion in May. There's 9 privately owned McDonald's restaurants in our region. We had just launched an app, and they serve they run 100,000 orders through those 9 stores a month. I wonder why, Americans are a little overweight. Well, there you go, but it's okay. We're loving it local. So we partnered with this private ownership at McDonald's, and they put table tents on every single McDonald's table tent. They wanted to fight with Panera because they wanted people to remember they have free Wi-Fi. So all the Paneras, they needed to get people into their restaurant, eating hamburgers and tipping away on their laptops and hanging out. So it was a really good symbiotic relationship. We wanted to get in front of 100,000 people. So we had table tents on every table. We had 70,000 bag stuffers that were printed by our printing partner, and that cost us $300. That was our total cash outlay for the entire promotion was $300. Because they traded out the table tents for the other side. McDonald's gave us an arch card, which we gave away every single day. So we drew a new winner every single day. They had to register at Richland Source for our email lists to be registered to win the arch card. We didn't make any money on this, okay? Except all we did was associate our little tiny brand with the 4th largest brand in the world. And we have a 30-day case study to show every other large business in our region that we know how to do promotion. If you want to rock it out with promotion, we're your guys. You want to think differently, you want to think out of the box, you want to try stuff, come to Richland Source, leave Gannett behind. And and by the way, we have like 30 pictures of smiling people who came to Richland Source to pick up their Arch card. And they're all on Facebook because they let us and they gave us permission to take their pictures. So now we have all these people with signed releases in their picture. It's great. Next thing, events. We talk a lot about events. So what we did was we partnered for 2015 with This Is Us. This is a Young Professionals Group. This is a video like our region's best videographer. This is this historic Renaissance theater, which is one of the largest theaters in Ohio, and this is the local radio station. It happens to be owned by Clear Channel. We partnered with them to put on the region's largest mayoral debate. We're not going to monetize this at all this first year. All this is about is us proving the case that we know how to do events. So we're going to be able to take this back out to other events and say, hey, look, we put on the region's largest mayoral debate in the region's largest theater. We broadcast it live and we videotaped it and had it live streamed to our site on the same night. And we did it all with partners who everybody's donating their time. So no one's cashing in on this at this point, but we will eventually. And then this is my favorite one. Made in the 419 is a clothing brand that we started. Seriously. So like last October, we were sitting around and we were going, our region, the Rust Belt has endured a 25-year slow motion ass kicking, and we're sort of tired of it. If you go to Cleveland, you'll kind of get a feel for that energy. We're just sort of at this place with the rest of the ass kicking. We're done with it. Everything's cool in Ohio. We like being from Ohio. Everything's fine. We're not envious of Colorado. Well, not that envious. Anyway. So what we tried to figure out, though, was that there was nothing about our region that gave anybody any way to express the fact that they liked being part of that region. So it was October 24th. We decided that we were going to do this. We were live by December 12th or December 1st. Am I running out of time?
A little bit.
Okay, sorry.
No. It's good stuff.
Here's the site, and I'm done. And we'll take questions later or catch me later, but I'm sorry I took too much time.
I'm still digesting.
Your
There's just
shirt
a
is one of the shirts, right?
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that you can do. So don't be afraid to try stuff. And you can make money doing all of this stuff. This is about $8,000 in revenue so far. All right, get up. You need